I don't think people are willing to spend a lot of their lives contemplating about charity, contemplating about helping community. Obviously, there are a few exceptions because it's the in thing to care about human life, the in thing to be generous and giving. And I think it's probably in to care and go to Ethiopia and give up your salary for something like that. And I think most of the school doesn't want to do that,
What people don't understand is that a school like this, many schools like this, are not interested in training people to be in the establishment. That isn't what we're about. That in fact, almost everything we speak of as important is not what people ordinarily think of as important in America. We don't honestly think that money is important. We don't honestly think that gaining power is important. We honestly think the service.
This paper that I read to you, cleverness and cunning were the two things you needed first and foremost.
Teaching a class in Bible history is William Polk, the school's headmaster.
To be successful as in money and everything, because it doesn't matter.
Polk is a graduate of Groton, class of '58, with a Master's of Divinity from Union Theological Seminary.
You're never going to get anywhere.
I think you need love to get by, because if you love other people, they're going to love you, and they're going to take care of you and help you. And you don't have to be smart. You don't have to be the best at everything if other people are going to be there for you.
You can say that all you want. I mean, you can say that, yes, we should all love each other, but when it comes right down to it, if there was like two people left on the earth and it was you and somebody else, and there was like only one apple left, you'd fight for your life for that apple just because you're so hungry, and it was all that was left. And you wouldn't split it and say, I love you so much. You can have the apple.
Well, let me turn it around. You're starting out and you're going to work for the government or work for business. Would you be attracted to an institution or a group of people that operated on the basis of trust or operated on the basis of cunning? Which would you want to work for, work with?
Honestly?
Yeah.
Probably the one that paid more money.
Well, it's worth thinking about what, in terms of that particular value, which is so common today, if there is any limit to it. Kids today get very conflicted messages about what values, aside from competition and being successful, will be important in their lives.
Times 10 minus 1.
As the years passed, maybe the second or third year, when I really started assimilating externally, and when I started looking like a preppy, I'd go home and my friends and my family would be, oh, hi, Joe, you look different. I remember having a friend of my brother-in-law's at home, and he said, Joe, when I think of you, I think of a white girl. You look like a white girl. And I looked at him, and I was disappointed, and I felt like the world had just fallen on my shoulders, and all that work, all that self-realization had gone to nothing. And that maybe outside I looked white, and inside, who knows, maybe I was white, and I just didn't know it, and that was scary. This deals with my conflict with religion. This one here was the second project of mine. It's titled Savior's Soul. And for me, it meant that I could just forget about being a part of my family. The moment that my brother-in-law's friend called me a white girl was the moment I realized that I'd never be a part of home and a part of the Spanish culture. And that's when I saw the doors closing, and not me. And if you look back here, there is a dagger, and that dagger is supposed to show what kind of defense mechanism the Puerto Rican woman has to have when her husband cannot find a job and he is frustrated and resorts to drinking and eventually madness. She has to defend herself and keep her family up, and she is in fact a strong force.
And so the statement is that the personal problems of Puerto Ricans, which are also problems of other races and other people all over the world, like madness and alcoholism seem to be the two most prevalent, are a result of the society that they live in, and you seem to sort of eschew the society and say it's not our society, it's your society.
Well, I'm not a white American. I am Hispanic, and I have seen...
But America, you know, you talk all the time about America being the melting pot.
But it's not.
Everyone has come from someplace else. Everyone has trouble finding a job. Everyone has to defend themselves against madness, as you put it, and alcoholism.
But this is my problem. This is the problem I've lived with ever since, you know, I was a child, and I've seen my father struggle. And I've seen his struggle in trying to assimilate into such a tough society, you're going to make it and it's a land of opportunity. If you don't make it, it's because you're not worth anything.
Well, I don't know exactly what people really think about all this stuff, but the way that most people go about expressing their resentment at Groton is to get them out over the lunch table and things, and not let them build up to the point where, in a sense, they explode in a demonstration of art that makes a lot of people uncomfortable.
How would you feel if I sat at a lunch table and said, you guys, I feel really isolated? Because you guys see the exterior of me, but inside, there's a lot more than this.
And that's inside every teenager.
No, but
I
it's
felt the same
different.
feelings of isolation and alienation. And everyone at Groton, every teenager, in fact, in the United States and all over the world, feels isolated and alienated at times, and often all the time.
But not necessarily because of the color of the skin, and it's really a different experience when it's something that you're not in control of.
When it's a category, yeah, but I'm saying there are other categories. You know, you're a mulatto, you know, I'm a Tommy, and you know, you're a spick in negative connotations. I mean, the bad term would say Joe's a spick. And everyone at school can be put in some sort of category that they don't want to be put in. And when that happens to them, and it does happen all the time, they feel uncomfortable.
I can never be accepted in the Groton world because I don't have a long line of, shall we say, educated ancestors. My background isn't affluent. I'm very Spanish. I mean, I still am to people at Groton. And that's the whole irony of the thing, is that at Groton, you know, I'm Puerto Rican. And that's not good. At home, I'm white, and that's not good. So what is good?
Most of the people that came to Groton 50 years ago had their life set out for them. And it's not as easy for us because we're not offered that opportunity. We have to work for everything.
It was very easy for Averill Harriman to, and I'm not going to criticize Averill Harriman, he was a great man, but to go into all these public service positions, because
grandfather had been a robber there,
exactly, and made all the money.
Exploited the poor people. Then it's very, you know, easy of him to go and put a little back in the system.
I think Mr. Polk is sincere when he gives a chapel talk about service and injustice in the real world, and I think there's something there.
My dream is to get a townhouse on Beacon Hill and a BMW, and just live in perfect. That would be heaven for me, and I would work my tail off, and I'd probably be pretty slimy, and that's what Groton. I mean, that's the one thing what Groton makes you.
When you say slimy,
I don't mean slimy.
Break the law?
I wouldn't break the law. I wouldn't do anything illegal. I would do whatever I had to. Without,
step on people?
I would. That's life.